Well, I thought before I'd 80s, high 70s. I was going to stop past it a little, but it didn't. I used from what I learned from the first one. Hopefully you can see that's about center of that, pretty close. Norwood Mills is sponsoring my video this week. They sent me some saber-tooth blades to try out on my mill. So we're going to go ahead and slap a set on here, and we're going to go ahead and start cutting the materials that we're going to be using there. The other stuff I pre-cut really didn't come out very good, so I'll figure out where I can use it. But the blade that was on here was getting wore out, so it's time to replace it and see how long this lasts. That was the blades I bought in the past from Norwood. They're a different style. Oh, that's perfect. The holes line up exactly how I want them to. This is the wood I've cut so far from Norwood Mills. Sent me the Steelix blades, and they're for my Lumber Pro HD36 V2, and these are really nice. I managed to get 3 logs cut, and I've cut up all of this material here, all the way over to here so far, which is most of it. Without further ado, let's just get back to work here. All right. The blade is cutting pretty wobbly. I'll go ahead and finish squaring up the first cuts on it. Then I got to change to a sharp blade for sure. So we're nice and square here. I usually just eye it up at first. So what I'll do is I'll line the blade up with the pith on the other end. When I do that, I have a marker here, and I have different measurements. I'll just pick, you know, this incremental one right here on the side, and I'll come back, I'll drop it down to where that pith was on this side, and I'll jack it up to where the pith matches both ends. Then I'm going with a grain. See how close to the center I can get here. Oh, we're pretty close, a couple inches. We're gonna hit the log. There, I'm on the log now. But I want to say it's about another inch lower to be right. And the marker, it's at 9 1/4. So I'm going to say 8 1/4 will put me in the right spot for the pith. I'm going to set it at 8 1/4. And I need to raise the log about 1/2 inch. I know a lot of you probably don't care about this, but for the ones that do care, so this is where the weld mark is on this thing. And you'll want to start at the weld mark. So I got to get this all placed in here. So this will advance it as such. So I'm going to go ahead and position to the first bent one here. That's this one. I think it'll put it right in there. Nope. Well, yeah, that works. So I'll end up going all the way around manually. So you'll watch this here. And see it's missing the flat blades, which are the straight blades. So it skips a tooth and then does 2 teeth. All right, I'll be back with you in a bit. All right, now I can sharpen this one. All the teeth are set, and I'm setting it up right now without grinding, just to see where I need to be. Ooh, it's like close. I think I can do it. That was too tight, too much. So I gotta raise it. raise it just a little. Oops, too much. There, I'm getting the whole tip on those two. All right, I'll let it run. I'll come back to you when I get closer to being done. So you can see right now, there's your weld mark, just so you can see. And that's where you want to start. I've got it set to shut off. I have it set to shut off after it passes that mark by a few teeth. I was still adjusting it for this particular new blade. So this is its first sharpening out of, you can probably get 3 sharpenings out of it. There we go, it stopped right at the grind. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this to finish squaring up the other one. This one feels really nice and sharp too. All right, we're going to use this as the 10-pack blade. We're going to see if it's cutting nice and true. And then we'll switch when we start making the boards to the other one. But I am cleaning the bark off this so this blade will be in good shape. And I have some other blades that are older that I'll use for debarking, not this one. This is its first sharpening. And it should work good. That came out really nice. That really came out nice. This is the wood I've cut so far from Norwood Mills. Sent me the Steelix blades, and they're for my Lumber Pro HD36 V2, and these are really nice. I managed to get 3 logs cut, and I've cut up all of this material here, all the way over to here so far, which is most of it. And the blade's starting to get to where the last board I cut was a little bit wobbly. So I'm going to go ahead and work this log with the older blade and square it up. Ooh. Perfect. I'll come back today and I'll start making bark dust. I'll make up some bark dust, get this place cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll come back later and cut the trees up into firewood. Sooner than later, hopefully. And none of that scrap is going to go to waste. That is heat this winter. I waste nothing. That's why I chip the limbs, use them for mulch. Okay folks, I think this is enough materials milled for the solar rack for both of them. So I'm going to go ahead and start working. This is late afternoon, but I'm going to set up the wood chipper, start chipping some of that wood and clearing up that area to work in. We'll switch from this, give this stuff a couple days, maybe 2 days to dry. Then I'll come back and start assembling. Hopefully everything stays good. I don't have any warping going on. It's not extremely hot here. It's like the low 80s, high 70s. So I think we're okay. Oh, it's a lot of moisture. A lot of it. I mean, just under the surface. Yes, this is an off-grid hour redo. Nothing's perfect around here. All right, I got a bubble level on this drill. There we go. That's where the bolt's going now. That's better. All right, next. I'll be right back with some more lumber. Okay. I don't even know how I'm going to get this stuff up there, probably on the tractor. Worst thing is the second one I'm going to build is going to be tougher than this one. Wow, landed right on the holes on the top. All right, so went ahead and screwed the 23-inch boards on. I'm just throwing a little mark here so I know approximately where they go in the future. Okay, so everything looks like it landed where I thought it would land, but I didn't want to cut it yet, so I want to make it longer. So now I can mark it, take it apart, and I can cut the end. I know that's going to fit fine. I don't have to pre-fit it. And then I'll take the pivot points. I'll bring my drill press out. I'll show you that when I get to that. Well, I thought before I'd take it apart, I'd show you how it looks. What I may do later is run a couple, I call this the spine. I may run a couple more supports just to stiffen it some more. The ends, I may run a continued spine basically through there as supports. But I'm going to wait till it's assembled. I'm going to assemble it the way it is first. Then I'll come back and probably do the other stuff I'm talking about. Still got to drill a hole through it, but so I need to drill a hole clear through this thing. so I can see what's going on the other side, because I'm going to put a washer on the other side. That's why I'm getting rid of the thickness for the length of the bolt needs to be able to go through it. And so I'm flush here, so that works. For this side, this is just an outer side. This is the side that's going to rub. If I do a hole through it, what I want to do on that side is I want to be able to put this on, and that's going to make up for the thickness I'm taking away here. That's going to give a place for the pivot to run on a nylon washer. That's just what I'm doing. All right. That way I get a nice straight drill point. So I got plenty of clearance here for the snow. I mean, on average, that's probably a little low, because the average is probably a little higher. But that being said, I would pull the snow away anyways. So I got this really tight, so I got a good tolerance, room for wear. I've got one nylon washer on the back side and one metal washer up here. I do have a twist on this board, but I think it'll come out eventually. It's fighting me. This end is a little higher than that end. The other thing is, it overhangs a bit more than I thought it would. My calculations were off a little bit, but that's okay. I just gotta, when I build the second half, make sure that I build it so that it fits in here on this end and overhangs a little bit more on the other end. That'll be fine. But this seems to pivot okay. I will. I think one side should do the trick. and that'll keep it from tilting on me this way. I mean, it could tilt up and go over there, but we'll see. Maybe it won't. Yeah, might wanna put another board on the other side. I can feel this trying to move on me. Yeah, that smoke in the background there, it's strong smelling around here. Uh, I've been breathing that stuff for a few weeks now. It's just awful. I've never been here and it's been this bad, but it's awful. And the darn wind keeps blowing the smoke towards me. Anyway, back to work. All right. I used from what I learned from the first rack, applied it to this rack, so when I get it up there, I won't have to cut anything. It'll be a fit. I don't think that's going to work. There we go. Okay. Oh no, I'm not wrong. All right. Okay, folks, this is it for this week. And this is how these work. They're not done. I got to put some bracing in here still, but this is how they're going to work. So that's how they work. That's 2,400 watts there. That'll be routed over to the shop when I put in the power to it. After the shop has got the roof built over the deck in the front and the deck has been extended, my goal is to run probably 4,800 watts I can get away with, 2 rows of these maybe. That'll be the plan. So I have to build it pretty strong. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and maybe got some ideas from it. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.